Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update video. So in this video we have one main piece of news, some Avatar Studios news from San Diego Comic-Con, but also a bunch of other little things that I haven't quite covered in a news video yet because I've been so focused on doing the Yang Chen videos. But let's jump in here with the big piece of news. So, surprising everyone, there was Avatar Studios news at the Braving the Elements panel. Now, it's not exactly in the way that you expected it to be, in that it's a relatively weird announcement. It is a notable announcement, given how little official Avatar Studios news there has been, but it's still not, like, huge or massive. I'll play the video here, just so you get a sense for what it is.
I've just been doing a little reading while I recuperate, and it reminded me that we actually have some exclusive Avatar Studios news for you all. Now, there have been a lot of rumors floating around, a lot of speculation and a lot of excitement. I feel it too, but we figured it was time to set the record straight. The first feature-length movie from Avatar Studios will be focusing on Avatar, Aang, and his friends. And I, for one, cannot wait. Now, where was I?
So, there's the news. Confirmation that the first movie is actually going to be an ATLA movie. Now, technically, of course, on the previous sort of rumored information, there was an ATLA movie there as well. It was just described as a Zuko-focused movie. This could still be that, in that, obviously, for most people, they more define Avatar stuff based on what Avatar you're going to focus on. And a Zuko movie would still be ultimately like an Aang era story. So I think they're just telling you like which show this is based on more than anything here, rather than like that it's going to be like Aang is the centerpiece of the story will revolve around him. I don't really think they're saying much of anything here other than the first movie is ATLA related. That's all they're really saying here. So, weird announcement. Just this video that Janet Varney recorded because she couldn't attend the convention and be at the panel. Just a couple of seconds, and effectively just like she says a sentence that is just the first movie will be about Aang. Like that's what the news is when you really break it down. And that in the grand scheme of things is minimal. Like there's no visual to go alongside this. There's no confirmation of the movie title, when it will be coming out. But there are a few interesting things mentioned here. Like the rumors are addressed in that I really do think the only reason we have this is because of how widespread the rumors got. And that I think they want to have some concrete information out there. And they probably realized that, okay, the last big update we said was that we're doing 3 movies and Lauren Montgomery is the director. We need to probably say more than that, because otherwise people are going to speculate themselves into an oblivion. We need some confirmation. Now, the other point is that it's super interesting that she says this while holding The Rise of Kyoshi in her hand. And obviously the previous rumored first movie was a Kyoshi movie. I think what they're saying here is that those rumors were very on point. And that, sure, the first movie is no longer, it's not going to be a Kyoshi movie, it's going to be an ATLA movie, but that Kyoshi is still in their plans. That I feel that the book is there for a reason, and that is to say, you might be excited for Kyoshi, it's not the first movie, but we know about it. This isn't just, I think, some like random thing where like, you know, it's just here for no reason. That's absolutely there for a reason in my mind. So that's what they said. I don't think there was anything else from the rest of the panel. This was followed up a little bit afterwards by Avatar News, who basically just added on to this that one of the exclusive reveals he had was that it will be set in a time period where Team Avatar are young adults. Now, not too much of a stretch to assume that, but he seems to have insider information that suggests that that is actually the case. So, very reasonable, it makes complete sense. This was very likely what they were going to do. If they're doing an ATLA movie, it is going to fill in the gap between Imbalance and Korra, and to do that, you you need to show the characters as adults. And young adults is, I think, the ideal way to do that. So I'm guessing that means we'll see all the characters at least at like 18, but probably more than likely early 20s, just so you have a little bit of a time skip and we're either closer to the point where like Republic City exists or Republic City is already there and we're dealing directly with the formation of the United Republic of Nations. It's obviously hard to speculate about what exactly the plot will be about, because the era of the ATLA characters when they're older is mostly defined by they all helped to form Republic City and United Republic. So it feels like you have to lean in that direction to some degree. Otherwise, it's just like new threat that we couldn't possibly have known anything about. Interestingly, Jason McConnell here, who based on his Twitter bio says full-time VP movies at Nickelodeon Animation, so someone involved somewhere down the line on this. Y'all really thought we weren't going to kick this off with the OG. Aang is back in a never-before-seen adventure coming soon. Like, still a while, but soon. So that's nice to get. Just the idea, like, okay, it'll still be a while, but it's within range now, I suppose, is what they're sort of saying there. So that's sort of nice to hear, just as a little bit of extra kind of official take on this. Then I'll bring this up. So obviously this is from a month ago. We've covered this already, but now it has obviously different context. If this first piece of concept art is from this movie, the Aang movie, well, obviously it changes things, because initially our speculation was more about it like, oh, it's a Kyoshi movie. But no, if it's Aang, and that's what the Lara Montgomery movie is, then what is the deal with the walled city with a giant tower in the middle? Caption Avatar Returns and the symbol for Earth. And then he later went on and said that in his mind it looks very, very similar to General Fong's fortress. So, what do we make of that? Now, interestingly, Earth. United Republic, the main nation involved in United Republic is the Earth Kingdom, because of course for the United Republic to exist, the Earth Kingdom has to give over a bunch of its land to become a new nation of nations, basically. So that's why we get that whole thing of that, like, that bay, that's kind of inlet kind of section on the western coast of the Earth Kingdom. That's why, like, that whole section around there, that's why it's the United Republic, because it's like a combination of like the colonies and then a lot of the in-between kind of areas become the United Republic. General Fong's fortress is like right on the like edge at the bottom, which is, it's quite close to the Fire Nation. So there might be some sort of a thing about sort of like territory disputes, and is this place actually going to be part of the United Republic, or is it going to remain Earth Kingdom? It's hard to know. Will that be the threat that they go for? That might be a little bit too focused on like the politics of the situation, just dealing with that sort of like land dispute type thing. It's hard to say until we actually get to see this concept art ourselves, or they say more about it. But in my mind, this makes sense. This was always going to be the thing that I think made the most sense to go for. They've waited long enough now where I suppose for them there is a creative challenge to doing a really strong ATLA continuation movie, delivering what the fans have been asking for since 2008, and that is to show the characters older, fill in the gaps in their life. And that's the big thing of like the wait really is between 2008, because Korra told us a little bit about the ATLA crew's life, but there are so many things that we don't know. Like, it's always crazy to me, like, you have these situations of, like, say, Sokka and Suki, very little details about what goes on there and what their relationship is like later on. The fact that, like, we still to this day don't know who, like, Azumi's mother is. Like, I'm assuming it will be May, but, like, this is a movie that probably has to confirm that once and for all. And so on. Like, there's some interesting things. Even Toph, say, like, from the Old Friends poster there, like, is this going to be Toph as, like, chief of police, or is this going to be before that in some sort of weird transition kind of period? There's some interesting things to consider here in terms of where this is set, because, like, Toph, of course, is involved in the Earth and Fire, like, refinery and stuff like that. There is the situation where, you know, she has her metal bending school, so how many references to the comics effectively are we going to make? And then Azula probably needs to get mentioned and resolved, and that has always made the most sense to be what the main plot is about. So this could still very much be the Zuko movie. If that is the main plot, it would make sense for the whole team to come back together to work on this challenge of Azula, and finally, like, progress her character arc. So interesting stuff. I understand, like, there's some disappointment that it's not Kyoshi first, but I think you can have some confidence from the fact that there's a Kyoshi book in that announcement, that they'll do Kyoshi eventually, that they will use the hype generated from this, proving Avatar Studios can work as movies that come out in the cinema. They'll probably go for Korra after that, do the two very proven things that probably need continuations, then go for the Kyoshi. That to me seems like the best order. If those are what the three movies are, ATLA, Korra, Kyoshi, it makes the most sense for that to be the order, in terms of just the success of everything. But we'll move on. So, first up we have San Diego Comic-Con exclusive merch. Aang U2's, it looks fine, but not super impressive. It's kind of cute. Aang watch, okay. Like, it's not very exciting overall. They also have some exclusive pins. Pretty general, like just Avatar logo. Okay, Braving the Elements logo. Fine. Korra 10-year anniversary with a Korra on it. That's kind of nice. So that's a nice pin. I think a lot of people would like to have that. So that's kind of interesting. Next up, the Power of Toph screen comic. So obviously screen comics are not particularly interesting as books. They are literally just screenshots from episodes with the dialogue as comic speech bubbles. The only significant thing here is that this image of Toph is new, as far as I'm aware, and I think it looks very, very nice. Not going to buy the book just because of the cover, but it's a nice new image of Toph that I'd really like to have on, say, like a trading card or something like that. Speaking of trading cards, this is probably the bigger kind of piece of news as well here, that Avatar is going to be getting a Weiss Schwarz release. It's going to be a Weiss Schwarz set. This is really, really interesting. If you're a fan of trading card games and you like Avatar, this is going to be pretty big in a way. So a notable trading card game system. Weiss Schwarz, that's what it is. This is the way they do their sets. They get licenses and they have it for a bunch of anime primarily, but now they seem to be expanding out and doing kind of other kind of shows as well. So Avatar is going to be getting a set here. You see here, English edition original. If you watch the video, they confirm a few more details about this. That Avatar is going to be getting a trial deck, a booster set, and a supply set. Now, what that is, trial deck is just a starter deck. That's just a set, very basic group of cards that you can play with. Obviously, you know, basically the idea is two people get starter sets, they can play against each other. That's the most simple way to play. Obviously, usually they're not overly complicated cards, but they're usually somewhat nice looking. You're going to get one, I assume, really cool, I'm guessing Avatar State Aang or something like that is going to be the main, like, highlight card. And so there'll be some, like, exclusive cards that you can only get in the trial deck, and that's quite interesting. Weiss Schwarz also has a kind of interesting thing where, at least in most of their sets, they do things like, say, you can potentially pull a, like, signed card. I don't know if they're going to do this for this set, just because they might not have the access to, like, the voice actors that they would have in like for doing anime and stuff like that, but we'll see what happens there. Booster set, very standard. I think if you've ever played Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic, you know exactly what a booster set is. It's going to be a box with a bunch of packs in it, and you know, you pull what you pull. There are rarities in this game, like common, uncommon, and then it's like rare, double rare, triple rare. super rare. There's a lot of rarities. Like, you will, if you want to get the full set, you are going to need to buy multiple boxes of this, or buy singles after like you get a box or two. The supply set, as far as I'm aware, based on other supply set releases, is that it's going to be an Avatar themed deck box, an Avatar themed card sleeves to put your cards in to protect them, of course. Some promo cards, as well as a couple of packs. So it's sort of like just like a little sort of kind of gift set style thing, which I think seems really cool. I love TCGs. I like Weiss Schwarz. I'm going to be like pretty much in on this. So assuming, you know, they're accessible and stuff like that, I will definitely be buying a trial deck, probably a booster box, and a supply set. So I'm all in on this. As for like just a quick look, if you're super unfamiliar with this, obviously you can look stuff up online. But I have some of the Sword Art Online Weiss Schwarz cards, and they're really cool overall, because you can see like just the way the cards kind of work. Most of them are either like screenshots from the show, or like stock imagery from the show, like the sort of hero shot style things. So in this case, this deck specifically is a blue and yellow Kirito, Asuna, and Yui deck. I do have some other characters, like there's a Sinon in here, I have a Klein in here, but for the most part it's a Kirito and Asuna deck. And that's the way the cards are like broken down within the set. There's 4 colors. There's blue, yellow, red, and green. And the characters for each franchise are basically separated out across these colors. So, you know, if they do it sort of thematically, I guess just based on color, air would be yellow, blue would be water, green would be earth, red would be fire. And obviously that would mean that, like, if you want to say have like an Aang and Katara deck, you'd have to do a blue yellow deck. And then there'd be other characters involved in that as well. So like there might be, say, like a Gyatso card. A lot of the Appas maybe will probably be in yellow. You have probably Katara, Sokka. If they kind of, you know, expanded out into the other characters, you know, Paku would likely be in blue. And then, you know, red would have like Iroh, Zuko, Zhao, those type of things. So you can mix and match. That seems very, very interesting to me. The other thing I probably should mention as well is that they do also have sideways cards, which are called climax cards. Because the idea of this game is that you play mostly character cards, and you basically put the main characters on the front of the stage, the support characters in the back of the stage to obviously support them. And then you play these climax cards, which more represent like big hype climactic moments from shows to power up other cards. And then there's some cool stuff, like, you know, you'll have certain cards that might search a specific climax card to get a combo going. I'm very interested to see what they like choose as the kind of key moments for Avatar. In terms of what the climax cards are. Like, I'm guessing that there'll be like an Avatar State climax card, stuff like that. Seems quite interesting. And then, yeah, like even just like the names of the cards are kind of interesting, and to see, like, we're going to get a lot of Aangs, a lot of Zuko's, but to see how they actually choose to name them will be kind of cool. So I'm really excited for this. The only other thing they said about it was that they've been working on this for a while. I think were initially planning to announce it earlier, but they had some stuff to figure out. It still seems like they're deciding on the full like name of the set, I think is what they said. So it might be like Avatar: The Last Airbender, like, you know, book 1 in the end. So it probably likely means that they are planning to do other releases. So it'll be interesting to see what they do for that. I prefer they just do general Avatar rather than super focusing in on book 1. But based on the way they do it for other animes, they do tend to base it on like season to season. So we'll see how this goes. But I'm in on this, definitely. I'm very excited for this, and I'll definitely be getting some of this and doing videos on it when it comes out. Next, new Avatar Legends role-playing game update. We covered this on the podcast, so I'll just really quickly cover it here. They recorded the All-Star Play thing, and that will be coming out eventually. The adventure that they've played, An Urgent Request, will be delivered to everyone as a PDF exclusive, so that will be interesting. There'll be a bit of new information there. They covered the details of it here. It's about Ryoshan and Zaison here, so it's in the Roku era, and it's covering the really interesting information, so there might be some actually cool new stuff there. The big one, though, the printing update. Printing has begun, so that's good. Printer is beginning the enormous task of printing all the books. It'll take several months. They'll let us know an estimate eventually. So it's not much of an update in the grand scheme of things, that they still 3 months later cannot tell us any sort of an estimate about when this will be done, other than just what they said earlier, several months. So there's definitely a frustration there about that, of like that they still just don't have anything to say really. But anyway, we move on. So this is a cool one. Avatar: The Last Airbender Best Action Elemental Power Pack 4-pack. So I think I covered this a few months ago. This randomly went up on like some European websites, but now it's revealed to be like a Walmart and Comic-Con exclusive. So we finally have proper pictures of it though. So you can see here, nice box set. It's Zuko, Aang, Toph, and Katara. Packaging very nice, as you can see there. The map and the symbols in the middle. And then a lot of stuff. It's like full 4 figures with the accessories, so you're not missing out on anything. And then the big thing, in my mind, is the faces look so much better on these than the original releases. Like the big one is Zuko. Zuko finally has his proper Book 3 hair. The original release, they just didn't give him his accurate hair. It was really, really weird. Like I could have got this figure at any point, but I didn't want to get it because the version that was in stores looks terrible. Aang has some new faces. Like that's the thing here. It seems like all the characters have completely new faces. I think Zuko and Toph look very, very good. With Aang and Katara, they seem to have gone for different ones where it's more like a kind of happy face and then like an angry face. But still, it's quite nice, ultimately, you can see here. Zuko has more of an angry face and then more of a neutral face. Aang has a neutral face and a smiley face. Toph has the kind of grins going on, which I kind of like. So that's quite cool. You can see there the open mouth. It actually fits her. I think it's very characterful. And there's a lot of cool accessories. Like Toph has the belt and the big earth piece. Otherwise, I think the accessories are like the same for the most part, I think. But it is interesting. Like it seems like some effort has been put into this to make it more than just like a repack of the other versions of the figures. I don't like that the only accurate Zuko is available here. So I hope this is available in more places. But you can see here, you can pre-order it from Walmart. $80 is... It's a little... I suppose it's roughly the right price. Given that like it's a full-on collector set and so on. It doesn't seem super expensive, but it's still, if you're not interested, that seems like a big price. And then we'll end with the Avatar live action show news that Avatar News had. So confirming Rainbow Dickerson, Joel Ouellette, and Rohain Aurora join ATLA Season 1 in mystery roles. So we don't know the details on them, just that they're involved somehow. The last one was that Danny Pudi has been cast as the Mechanist in ATLA. So that's interesting. I obviously don't know much about actors and stuff like that, but just the mere fact that the Mechanist is going to be in this show, it obviously confirms that the Northern Air Temple is going to be in here to some degree, and that makes a lot of sense. It will be interesting to see what episodes do get more glanced over or skipped over, but confirmation that some of the Northern Air Temple stuff will be in here. So that all seems fine. With the live action show, I'm very much just in the mode where I'm kind of like, please just release some images of what the characters look like in their costumes. Show us a glimpse of what this is going to look like. The slow rollout of like basically the casting information being almost like leaked is really, really frustrating in my mind, when like this show as like an adaptation really just needs to show us what it looks like and what it's about, rather than like slowly announcing every single actor. But interesting group of news here. I think the highlights are definitely the big Avatar Studios news here, ATLA movie confirmed, and also the Weiss Schwarz trading card game is going to be getting Avatar stuff. Those to me are the big ones that I'm very, very excited for. But there is also the potential for new information, because later on today, will be the publishing panel for Avatar. Now, these typically have not delivered news in the past, but given that also Braving the Elements has never delivered news, maybe they'll deliver here, because Dark Horse need to announce stuff. There's maybe a second Yang Chen book to be announced. Probably a little early to give more details on that, but still interesting. And then Avatar News said that he also had a second piece of Avatar Studios news that he was planning to release on Sunday. So I'm not sure if he'll bring that up and maybe do that one today, or he'll wait until Sunday. But it looks like there's something to maybe look forward to about that. So yeah, that's been the news. That's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.